Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Top Bin Talks presented by FTF Canada. I am Adam Jones, one of your co-hosts, joined as always by Kwame Awua, and today is our 28th
Eighth
episode.
episode. Yes, sir.
Comes on a
We
beautiful
still go.
Sunday. Man United
Yeah.
got 3 points, thank Christ. So the
Yeah,
day
I mean,
started off okay.
Man United didn't pull a Chelsea, didn't pull a Tottenham. So I feel like when Man U's winning, it's a lot better. The world's a little bit more, a little better.
Well, it's brighter for some of us, I'll tell you that, because it's.
Yeah. I think that's the most popular after Real Madrid and Barca, that's the most popular soccer team. Or maybe it's more popular than
I
Real
think,
Madrid and
I
Barcelona.
think there are. I mean, I think it's
Because
between
of
them and Real Madrid.
yeah, that's what I
Realistically, I
mean.
think
Yeah.
I think it is. But yeah, no, they're one of the biggest clubs in the world,
Clubs
man,
in the
and
world.
it's never
Yeah.
gonna change.
Biggest sports teams in the world, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. How you feeling about the game? I seen the Blake Garnacho score. I know I saw the message that you sent me, but I literally saw the goal. I was talking about it. I was like, there is no way if someone scored a bike on me, if I'm a wing back, I am clamping you for the rest of the game. Like you're not doing anything else. Because your
Well,
confidence right now is going through the roof. Yeah, like I'm
Ashley
not
Young whacked him and got a yellow card, and now you're playing the game of shit.
no, I'm not whacking you, but like I'm gonna make
Yeah.
sure like because you score that, I know you're gonna try doing some. Because imagine like when you meg the guy in a game, you're like, ooh, you got that little. Then you start doing extra stuff. No, that's not happening with me. I
Yeah.
I, I am making sure that your game's done after that. Granted, like you can't stop a bike because you're not expecting anyone to just pull out a bike
Well,
like that,
also,
like how he did.
well, look at how he did it. What is Ashley Young? What is any fullback supposed to do in that situation?
Nothing. That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
there's
I'll,
not.
I'll let I'll let it slide, but the rest of the game, you in my back pocket. They're gonna forget that you even scored that, yo. That's the only highlight you get in.
Pretty good highlight, to be fair.
It's a really great highlight. I was thinking about so when I saw, I was like, yo, his bike or Wayne Rooney's, but Wayne Rooney's is just more. The moment was just bigger.
Manchester Derby, man. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
the moment was
sorry,
just
I'm
bigger.
sorry,
Yeah,
and
game
it was
winner.
like to win the game. Oh, this was game winner too, but it was getting towards the end of the season,
Yeah,
trying to win the league. Like, yeah, for me, like that one just has such a.
and then the celebration.
Oh yeah, it's iconic. It's iconic.
Yeah,
I mean,
I should I should
if
have
that
asked him
was
about that before he
you
left.
should,
I should
yeah, you
have.
should
I
have.
didn't even get a picture with him. Sad time.
Yeah,
Sad
I don't
times,
know,
bro.
man. When you're kind of around that, when you're around them
Yeah,
like
you
that,
don't
though,
think
you know.
about it like you don't think
But it's
about it.
also like you know, at the same time, you're just another person. You know,
Yeah.
like in the summer, I went golfing and we were at a charity event. You know,
Mm,
I'm with Paul Dolan, who's ex-Canadian national team goalkeeper. He's in my group.
mm,
He played with my dad, so I've you know I've known about him for a while, and we've kind of met each other down the road. But we're playing in one group, and like four Canucks walk up and they're playing and just chatting. Like everyone else is
mm.
walking around like asking for pictures and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, sure." I'm just like, "You guys are normal human beings.
Yeah.
Just treat them that way."
Mm.
You know what
Facts.
I mean? Like,
I mean, that's what it is. But now I'm sad though. But
yeah,
yeah, I saw seeing that bike. I was like, Garnacho's is probably harder to score, but his Wayne Rooney's was just like
the
the
moment,
moment was just yeah.
the moment.
It was class. It was class, 100%.
Yeah,
So what we got on our docket, we've obviously last episode we got Gabriel Carl. Shout out to Gab again for coming on. I mean, it was a great episode. Still cutting up clips and stuff like that. Good reaction to the episode. Um, Shout out to One Soccer for asking to like repost some stuff from our episode, and hopefully we can get some partnership and stuff like that with them soon. Uh, just to like talk about the game more, like in get a higher engagement, get people more knowledgeable on the game, and just opinions. Like conversation is just the most important thing, right? Um, but this past week, a lot has been going on, and I guess the elephant in the room is the Canadian men's national team. Started off,
disaster,
started off well.
disaster.
It
Like,
started off well. The week started off great. Now you went to sunny Jamaica. Well, not sunny Jamaica. You went to tropical storm Jamaica. The game got moved to the next morning. The heat was like 33 degrees Celsius when they were playing. To pull out a win like that, like guys were fighting to the end, and you come home in Canadian territory in the tundra, the cold tundra, and starts off well again. Totally bossed both the first half. You go into the second half, don't know what was said in the locker room, but I was tweeting live and I said it from the beginning, the lineup, everything like going into it was like perfect. 4-4-2, Davies, Tajon, Alfonso and Tajon on the wings, like isolated in 1v1 situation, like 9 times out of 10, they're gonna win that matchup in CONCACAF at least. And Kyle and Joe David up top, their partnership seems like is getting better. And first half, that's what it was. Playing out the back, everything was calm. And I think we just lost that composure when shit hit the fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough to see, like, obviously, the having to deal with what they had in Jamaica. You were like incredibly professional. Great, perfect professional performance. And then it was the exact opposite in Toronto, which is, I think, the hardest thing to take from it.
It's a tale of two halves for sure.
It is, but again, I think you still look at it and they're not clinical right now. They're not, and it's also, I think Kyle
It's based
and
on form.
Jonathan.
It's based on form too with their
It
clubs, right?
is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. But again, like they're not in form. And again, at what point here's kind of the that I'm seeing now with them. Every team in CONCACAF, except maybe Jamaica, is saying, "Come break us down. Come break us down." And at what point is it going to get to where you need to go three in the middle? And now you have some serious questions. Like, you know what I mean? Like at some point, a system and a philosophy needs to come in place where you just have to play the right players now. And now some really difficult decisions, like going into Copa America, going into Trinidad. Let's not even look at Copa America. Like they have a one-off game in Texas now against Trinidad.
Who beat the United States?
I know. Like it's a serious, like it's gonna be it's gonna be a tough game. It is. But looking at going into the World Cup, you're not surprising anyone anymore. You're not. And every team, and like again, if you look at all the goals they've been scoring as of late, basically since qualifying, how many of them have been, wow, Fonzie and Tajon have 50 yards of space to run into? None of them. Like, so how do you now, like, who do you pick now to play in a system where you might have to change the way you play?
I think that's another thing that, like, yo, we gotta understand that now we have a target on our back. People are actually preparing for us. Like people were preparing for Alfonso. People were preparing for people that like were already well known for the national team. But now like everyone has made a statement and everyone has put in like now like you're keyed in now. You know what I mean? So even Estacio, it's not gonna be easy for him. You know what I mean? It's like, and maybe the leadership that like Atiba left, like Scott Arfield, like there's so many players that have stepped out or are getting older that are not really part of the program anymore.
Junior Hoylett.
Junior Hoylett, like he's not playing as much. O'Neal, even though he wasn't playing, he was still a voice in the locker room. You know what I mean? A personality. So, I mean, I think it's just a transition period that isn't really a transition period because there's still like the people that play the most are still there and they're still in their prime age. It's just a matter of like understanding that people like other teams are getting better. So like we have to find a way to adapt. And like you can't, if you're not like the top, like Brazil is always going to play Brazil. You know what I mean? But we don't have that luxury to like not change our philosophy. Like Brazil always going to play the way Brazil always play because they always have the best talent.
Yeah, and it's also a culture.
You know what I mean?
Like
how
it's a specific culture.
Spain, like how Spain is always going to play how Spain plays because like that's just how they are, and they usually beat every. You know what I mean? Like when you're those top teams, but when you're like mid table or like a lower, I'm not saying Canada's a lower team, but like if you're 20 down, like you don't have the luxury to not adapt. Even Croatia adapts. Croatia adapted against Canada. Croatia, they sat back. They're like, "Yo, you guys got to break us down." So like, we got to find ways to find people to. I don't think players on our team can't do it. I just think they haven't been asked to do it, and I don't think
Yeah.
the coaching staff know what to tell them to do.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, look at
Yeah.
every other realistically, if you look at pretty much every other country in the world, they adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil and Spain are kind of the only two that are enigmas
Mm-hmm.
and don't. Like
Mm-hmm.
you look at again another nation who struggles somewhat to adapt. Look at Italy. When they play against lower teams, they find it way more difficult to actually because they want to sit in and absorb pressure. Like
Mm-hmm.
they have that type of. That's why when they get to major tournaments, hold like you need to watch out.
Mm-hmm.
Why there's an
Mm-hmm.
expectation on them because they continuously do it
Set pieces and holding down the fort.
and hitting you on a counterattack
Mm-hmm.
and grinding out results. Like they have that about them and they have that about their
Mm-hmm.
national team, right? And it's one of those things where you're waiting for like the next evolution now to come, and
Mm-hmm.
you have a lot of players and a lot of pieces to be able to do it, but you need to get the right coach in. And again, that's where the conversation is going to go. But just looking
Mm-hmm.
back at that game, I mean, again, you talk about it's specific moments,
Mm-hmm.
but B, the bigger thing is when I look at the substitution, what you took off Alfonso Davies, the only player who's been in that scenario
Did he get
before.
sub? Did he get subbed out?
I thought he did, didn't he? Wasn't he part of one of the three that got subbed out?
No, it was Kone. After he scored, he got subbed out for Mark Anthony, and then they brought on Osorio for Tejan, I believe. Tejan got subbed out.
They made like a
Alfonso
triple sub. They made like a triple
Alfonso
sub, no?
Alfonso was not. Then Junior Hoyle came on for Tejan, and then someone else came off. It wasn't Kyle came off. Kyle came off for Liam Miller.
Alistair came off for Liam.
Yeah,
Kyle came off for Osorio. Okay, yeah, that's
Osorio.
what it was.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's one of those
I
things.
don't think Canada ever subs Alfonso. I don't think he's ever
Yeah,
getting subbed
and
out again.
I don't think he should, and he shouldn't. Like, but
Yeah.
like I look at that scenario, and it's tough to sit there and see like they didn't need another goal.
Mm-mm.
They didn't. And you look at the giveaway from Eustachio, and again, this is a little bit of this is what like it's a little bit of like the arrogance factor of like this is what we
Mm-hmm.
do. Just clear your like Borjan juggling. Pick up the fucking ball and get on with it. Pick up the
You
ball,
don't
get
have
on
to.
with
The
it.
thing is, like,
Clear your lines.
I
Like
understand wasting time, but like, you don't have to juggle.
no.
Like, you could have just put your foot on the ball, waited till the guy came to press you, and then picked it. You know what I mean?
Well, the worst
Every
part is
other.
he just juggled it and then picked it up. He didn't even wait for someone to come. Like I
I feel
like
like, I tweeted. I
it's
said,
understanding the moment. Understand the moment and what's going on. If you don't have anything, clear your lines. Just clear your lines. You just want to win this game. There's a point of like it's a professional win. Who cares? We're not at our best. Doesn't matter. We're going through. We're going to
I think
it's
it's also adapting within the game too.
yeah
Like, I'm not like everybody on the team that I know personally has a pretty good soccer IQ, and if you know Jamaica, you know their wingers, they're just trying to hit you on the counter. It's
yeah and
okay. Don't give them opportunity to counter us. If they do, you foul them right away. Like, just little nuances like that. Like, I feel like once the game was tied, like, we got rattled and we're like, yo, we need to score, we need to score, we need to score.
you
Like,
just need to
bro,
not concede.
yeah, teams like Brazil, so like they get scored on, they're like, yo, we gonna win this game. Like, we're not really feeling like we can't. We have to learn, like, if we want to be the top dogs that like we should be, and like we say that we are, we gotta mature in that aspect. Where it's like,
Yeah,
yo, sometimes you're gonna concede a shit goal. It's gonna be like, damn, all right, yo, like, let's move to the next one. But like, that doesn't take away from the game plan. That doesn't take away from like what you're gonna do to minimize any errors. You know what I mean? Like, Kone slipping, like, it might have been a foul, but like, you're not getting that in CONCACAF. And I can say personally, because I played in so many CONCACAF games, like, you're not getting that shit. And the ref isn't Jamaican, he isn't Canadian, like, he doesn't owe you anything. There was one CONCACAF game, I don't know if you remember when we played at Forge, we played Taro, and Novak got a penalty in the 90th minute before we lost to the Haitian team in the next round against Taro. That wasn't a penalty, but the ref was American. He was like, fuck these guys. Like I was like, I got y'all basically. And he gave us a call. Like there's some things like you don't want to put the game based on those little things. You know what I mean? Like you always have. I feel like we have to be a little bit pragmatic, but within still like expressing our attacking, expressing ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we get way too ahead of ourselves, especially at home. And like we forget that like Leon Bailey plays for Austin Villa in the Premier League, like has like 5, 6 goals. Damari Gray has like a Premier League title. Cooks the best right backs in like we can't just let that forget. Like these guys are still danger man. Even if they don't have the same players that they're playing with, they just need one chance. And that's what happened. They got the 3 chances. Their striker was a fucking hardworking striker. Gets those tap ins. Great finishes too.
Yeah. Well, you had like like the one who won the ball back from Coney was Delacover Reed. Plays for Fulham week in, week out.
That's what I mean.
Like
That's
they're missing Michelle Antonio. Ethan
yeah.
Pinnock plays for Brentford in the Prem. Like
That's what I mean.
you're dealing with
These are
guys
not
where
scrubs.
no,
Like they're
well,
not
not
scrubs.
only that, like there's a gear that they have that's different, and they
Mhm,
showed it. You know what I mean? Like they do have that gear,
mhm,
where again that margin is so small, it's so fine,
mhm,
and when it was given to them, they took it and they punished us, right? Like it's just
mhm,
it's one of those things again, like within the being pragmatic, I think like you hit the nail on the head there.
mhm,
But that's just understanding the moment. Coney's on the
mhm,
ball. You're playing with a midfield too. Eustakio has to create balance.
mhm.
Has to. That's like you cannot
Yeah,
like
and that's another thing. Like obviously we talked about it before, and I'm gonna let you continue that. But we talked about it before we started recording. But like everyone's so focused on the actual action of him losing the ball, but it's like so many other things could have solved that situation. Yeah, if he didn't lose the ball, if he didn't like dive a soft foul, like yeah, like things would have been fine. But there's so many other things that could have prevented that. And like you could continue because obviously you're gonna go into like the things that but like this is stuff that we need to literally educate fans so they
yeah.
know like what the real reason why they scored. It's not because they lost the ball. Everybody loses the ball. He's so far up in the field, him losing the ball there shouldn't really matter. But
It
yeah.
shouldn't, but when you're there,
Mm-hmm.
when you're in that space, your only midfield partners ahead of you. Richie's
Yeah.
level with you on the far
Yeah.
touchline for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of a sudden now losing the ball there creates a 4v3 because again, when we're up 2-1 in the second half, Rich just at that point just needs to be tucked in
Mm-hmm.
because he's standing in the space he should kind of be receiving the ball in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if it comes out the other way, Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
can recover and he's receiving the ball to his feet and he's playing back to Kamal. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like if he's tucked in, which he should be, the ball's on that side of the pitch, you know. Again,
Mm-hmm.
Biello might be
Nah.
telling him to be there, mind
Yeah.
you. I'm saying
It
like so
might. That's what I'm saying. We might. You never know what's going on through people's head, but like what you're saying is totally right. Like Rich could have
yeah.
been tucked in. The Eustachio could. If Eustachio's in that space, then Rich doesn't really need to be that tucked
Well,
in. Or if Rich is
but
tucked in, then okay.
If Rich is tucked in, and
Someone has to notice.
here's the biggest thing, right? Jamaica is really athletic,
Mm-hmm.
and
I'd rather Rich.
the least athletic player on the pitch is probably Kamal. And
Yo.
like against that massive strike and with that pace, like again, Richie might be able to get back, and now all of a sudden that cross doesn't come in like that. Maybe Cornelius can get like there like he did, and maybe it just slows them down. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't
You
know
don't like.
because
We never know what's going
Demar
through
Gray
people.
might have chopped and then bent it in anyway, and it would have been
Yeah.
like, well,
All right.
it's two two
Sick,
anyway.
bro.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that still could have happened, but it would have been like, okay, it was a
It's a harder
moment.
goal.
It's a moment of magic or like it's a poor giveaway, but
Yeah.
fuck, what a finish.
It's
Rather
easier
than
to accept. It's
what the
easier to accept.
fuck are they doing? How did they have the ball, lose it so easily, and get countered 4v3 against? You know what I mean? And again,
Yeah.
it's the hardest part now, I think for the hardest part for I think for me to accept is at least like, guys, you guys just went to a World Cup. How did you guys not learn a lesson from Croatia? How do you not learn lessons from these other teams? Like even look at Belgium. Look at the way they defended. Look
Also,
at Croatia. Like you know,
I
like
can, you can, we can say that, but we have to also like, there's so much more that goes to it. Like they got friendlies canceled. Like they didn't have no international week. Like you know what I mean? They didn't have no games. Like those other teams get to play games so often because they have Nations League and they have their World Cup qualifiers. Where like Canada didn't play against anyone. They played against Japan. That's the only. Ever since the World Cup, who else did they really play? They lost in the Nations League. They
Well,
beat
they had
Panama.
the
They
Gold
lost.
Cup. They had the Gold
They had
Cup.
the Gold Cup, but
They lost
that's
to
not what
the
their that wasn't what their strongest squad. You know what I mean?
no, but they
Yeah,
lost. But again, though, you have everyone else is playing. Like they're all playing
yeah,
MLS at that time, so they're all playing in their
yeah.
season.
They're
You
playing,
had
but
everyone in
I'm
Europe
saying,
just finished their season.
you know how
Like
important it is for you to get reps as a national team. You know what I mean? So I think I can give them a little bit of leniency because the World Cup, bro, it's a year now. Like the World Cup is actually far removed. Like you
no,
know
no,
what I mean? So
I'm saying from like a learning and a lesson standpoint of going
yeah, I
like
think they should have learned. I think they should have learned their
it's a
lesson
moment
from the U.S. game
it's a
when they
moment
lost in the Nations League.
yeah but it's a moment, man. It's a moment where you're up and you're like, we don't need a goal,
Mm-hmm.
remember I remember like remember watching the Champions League when away goals mattered.
Yeah, teams
how
were just all right. Yo, we're
how
chilling.
different the game was, though. How different
It
those
was
games were.
more mental.
Exactly. And that's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I'm thinking like I can give them a little bit of I can cut them some slack of going. I don't
Grace.
think any of them other than Fonzie have probably been in that situation before. Realistically, he's probably the
Yeah,
only
no, I
one with
think it's
Bayern
Sakio.
Munich.
Because Porto did what like went pretty far in like Champions League.
No, but when has he been in a situation where but again though, he's not playing in midfield too. He's playing as the highest midfield. Like he's not in that role there.
Okay.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that's not his
Mm,
role is to sit there and now to be
mm,
responsible defensively and to do that. That's not his role at
mm.
Porto. And I don't really think they've been in a situation where, hey, we're like it's 2-2 right now. Like we don't need to score. Let's be pragmatic and defend. It's not like the Porto when they beat Man United with
Yeah, my
Mourinho
thing is
as
like
manager. You know what I mean?
obviously like you were saying like yeah, adapt, like be more pragmatic 100%, but we can be pragmatic with the ball. It's just the cover balance. That's the only thing that really
Yes,
fucked it up. The cover balance. And
which
then
should
obviously
be
some yeah,
basic at their
basic,
and
but
that's the
that's
problem.
coaching. That's what comes to coaching. Because
Yeah,
like if you have a system, you know, like I always harp back to it. Like I always say, like Bobby and Patrick are like my best coaches I have because like you knew what you were supposed to do on the field. Wherever the ball was, you knew where you're supposed to be. Regardless if you were gonna get the ball in the next 10 passes or not, the next pass you knew if this ball goes here, I'm here. If this ball goes here, I'm here. If someone dribbles here, I'm here. Like, yo, you knew.
yeah,
So you would never be in a situation where like you didn't know what to do. So like sometimes I'm like, we might get too ahead of ourselves and like we want to play this expansive football because like we're trying to change the identity of Canada, how we used to be, because now we have more flair and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, yo, like we can be pragmatic, but with the ball as well. Like we can knock the ball. Like we don't have to just sit down, bunker down, and defend, and then we can hit them, hit Jamaica because they're the ones that have to win the game. They have to come to us. So like that's the difference. Like maybe you start your line of confrontation a little deeper. Maybe you force them to break you down instead of teams be like, yo, force us to break us down. You know what I mean? So it
yeah.
just literally like those are just little nuances in the game that like everyone has to understand. Instead of everybody just jumping to conclusions like, yo, we're shit. Like, yo, I can't believe like this happened, blah, blah. I'm like, bro,
Hey, by the way, I can't believe it.
Jamaica's
I
never an
can't believe
easy out.
I can't believe this happened. Tell me you only recently started watching the national men's national team without telling me you only started
And the
like
thing,
all
yeah,
everyone who's watched it before went, oh,
walking CONCACAF in general. People are like,
yeah.
oh wow, the handball. I'm like, bro, y'all never watch a CONCACAF soccer game, bro? That shit happens.
And honestly,
And honestly, it's a handball.
it's a handball. I hate to say it. In real time,
It
in
sucks.
real time, I watch. I'm like, did they call Cornelius for a foul right now? What the fuck? Like
I
in
had no
real time,
idea what
that's
was
what
going
I
on.
thought. And then again, like you
They
said,
showed the
again,
replay. I said, damn.
he's far enough away, and I don't know. I'm kind of old school with that. If it strikes his fucking arm, it strikes his arm. Like
Mhm.
it's
Unless
one
he's
thing.
like unless
It's
he's literally just standing there and then like it's like, all
but
right.
even okay. Like and then here's my question though: if I'm standing on the goal line and my hands are pasted to my body, someone shoots and it hits my hand and my hand fires back and the ball doesn't go in, is it a penalty or not?
That's
Like
tough.
you
It's
literally
so
stop the goal
gray.
with your hand. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's
I can
so
see that
gray.
one being called back for a penalty. I can see it being called because you're
Yeah.
standing on the line. You're not a goalkeeper. It hit your hand and you
Mm.
stop the goal. Like
Mhm.
the ball's flying
If
in the
the
goal.
ball's going, it's flying in the goal. Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? It's different if it's a cross and you're standing there and that happens and it's from 2 feet
yeah.
away. It's different,
Mhm,
right? Like it's a cross. Like there's a little bit of nuance there, but if your arms out a little bit and you block the ball, it's a ham.
mhm.
For me, it's a handball. For me, it's a
And
handball.
the thing is like handball, those handball penalty calls are so because like when it goes your way, you're like, yo, that's a handball. But like when it goes against you, you're like, yo, nah, that's not a handball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like
yeah.
you're always gonna be yeah, you're always gonna be because if it was the other way around, we'd be screaming till the cows come home, like, yo, it's a handball. And like magically lost on not getting a penalty for a handball. And you know what I mean? People be going crazy.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, I think like before we move on from this, I think the thing that
mm,
compounds probably the performance and the switching off, like Eustachio
mm,
losing the ball, the first one,
mm,
Kone losing the ball, and then Eustachio, Richie, people, a bunch of people
mm,
being out of position. What
mm,
compounds it is the goal they conceded in Jamaica, where they switch off on a set piece. They all
mm,
switched off. They did. You know what I
mm.
mean? Like you look at the
It's those
goal,
little things, yo. That's the difference.
and that's the thing right there where you're like, I think that's the part where you're like, hold, no, guys, you guys are now all playing at a high. You guys have like
Mhm,
look at the experience you guys have had. This stuff can't
mhm,
happen. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Like mistakes are gonna happen. No,
mhm.
like everyone makes mistakes. It's about how
But
you
switching
cope.
off,
But when you
you have to minimize the mistakes.
that's the thing. It's like the type of mistake you make though
Yeah.
is you everyone has to be hyper aware of a mistake happening so that
Mhm.
you can recover and minimize the effect of it.
The
Whereas the
damage, yeah.
mistakes, like, and again, it's not like those are the only mistakes they made. Leon Bailey hit
Mhm,
the crossbar. Like, there were other
mhm,
mistakes they made they didn't get punished for.
mhm,
But at least those ones, you're like, okay, well, like they kind of got back, they forced them to slide.
mhm,
That's the part where you're like, I can live with those ones. These ones are like so fundamental
mhm.
that you would
The
tell
one
you,
thing, the one thing that I'm sure is like I always, and I go back to is like I always tell people I'm like, yo, as players, we know we watch a game and we know we fucked up, we know this and that. So like, I'm not telling people to give grace, but I want people to understand, like, especially for this game in general, Jamaica's not an easy out.
no,
Like, you have possibly the best goalkeeper in MLS history in Andre Blake and Ed. The first game where he was standing on his head, like it could have been a lot. If all those shots go in, like where Kyle and stuff missed those sitters and stuff like that in the beginning, like who knows what? Like the game's over. You know what I mean? You have Leon Bailey, you have Andre Blake, you have DeMar. Like you have guys like it's not an easy out. Like people are like, yo, I have guys on Twitter saying, oh, yo, the Jamaican goalkeeper is like, yo, he had a game. So I'm like, bro, do you know who that is? Like, and I'm biased too because I played with him. But it's like I'm biased, but like the results are there. Like the accolades are there. It's like, yo, y'all don't really know who you talk. Y'all don't really know who you're talking about, right? Like it could be arguably one of the best goalkeepers in CONCACAF. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's top three. What, the Mexican goalkeeper, Matt Turner, and then him? Like, that's what I'm
honestly.
saying. So yeah, like yo, I'm like,
Unless
yo, y'all
unless
don't
like is Keylor Navas still playing for Costa Rica?
that I don't know. And it's if Keylor Navas still playing, but like you know what I mean? Like top,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? But
Oh
Keylor
yeah.
Navas was considered like one of the top 10 goalkeepers in the world at some point. So it's like, yo,
I think he's like
that's what I'm saying.
top two at one
Yeah,
point. Like
that's what
when
I
he's at
mean. He was
Real
standing
Madrid.
on his head at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So like people don't and so I was like before the second half started, I was like, scores like this, I tweeted it. My scores like this is where Canada will learn to control the game in tempo. It's about
And
how they can get the second without getting exposed in transition. Then they scored. I said, transitions, transitions, transitions. I'm like, that's what they're waiting for. You can't get casual on the ball. You have to have meaningful possession. And I said, let's see how Canada deal with the pressure. The fans at BMO got to stay behind them. I said, wow, now we're under it. 3-3 on aggregate. Transition goal again. Got caught too expansive and get punished. CONCACAF, you don't get those foul calls, by the way. And I was like, and the thing is, what people also need to understand, like fans, it's like Estacio and Kone are really good on the ball. 9 times out of 10, they don't lose the ball there. But it's just that one time. Like you always have to be mentally prepared. Like, yo, what if they do lose the ball?
yeah.
What if what if shit really does hit the fan?
Yeah, and like that's one of those like that's one of the things I think when you watch them earlier on, when you saw teams kind of press them a little bit higher, all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden it was like don't lose the ball, and they wouldn't lose the ball. But you also looked and you're like, okay, well, when they did, they had enough balance where,
Mhm.
like going through that stretch where they really
Yeah,
started to
yeah. The issue is
ascend.
not losing the ball. People
When they
don't lose the
started to
ball.
ascend, yeah, when they started to ascend, it was like they were losing 1-0, 2-1 to Mexico in the US, but they
Mhm.
created chances but it was like when they minimized the effect of other teams, whereas right
Mhm.
now, at least the spell they're going through, their effects being minimized a little bit by the way teams are
Mhm.
playing against them. Not
Mhm.
to say that they're not still creating chances and doing
Mhm.
well, but what they do specifically well, which is being minimized, but they're getting exposed. And other teams
Mhm.
seem to be able to create really good chances against them, which we haven't seen for a while. But like we said, like they've gone through a coaching change with Bielo now being the interim, and
Mhm.
they need to hire someone.
Yeah, I
And I
mean,
don't think they have the money to go out and hire
a
someone
big name.
who
Everyone's asking for a big
want
name, but no one knows.
well,
No one knows what's
yeah,
going on behind the
you want
scenes.
Ancelotti because he lives in Vancouver. Ancelotti lives here,
But
man. Like
yeah, this is not gonna happen.
it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
I'll tell Alfonso, be like, yo, take some of your Bayern Munich money and give it to the salary for the salary of the new Canada coach, bro. I'm just teasing,
Oh.
but I was even saying like maybe I jinxed it because I was like Canada won't give us a scare like the U.S. did to
Yeah,
their
no, I
fans last night, right? I said right on soccer, and they said fingers crossed. I was like, damn, I jinxed it. And everybody's like, oh, we're taking a step back. But I'm like, yo, it's not a step back. CONCACAF teams are just getting better. Teams are preparing properly for Canada, and you have to bring your A game every time. Every
yeah,
game
I
you
mean,
play now, you
but
have to bring your A game.
it's like people. I think like the
Can't get
great thing about
complacent.
qualifying though, the great thing about qualifying, I think it did bring a lot of new people to the table who are paying attention now, but they all expect it to be like that. The path should be
Mm-hmm.
like that, and like no, the path
Mm-hmm.
is like this, man. Like it's not you're not climbing. You're not climbing a ladder. You're climbing a mountain range where there's peaks and valleys. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be this
Yeah,
linear process. It's just not.
yeah. I'm sure they'll get through this surge. I mean, they have to. I mean, they're only. What sucks is that they didn't qualify for the Nations League semifinals, and I think that
Yep.
might dramatically drop their FIFA rankings.
It honestly, man, it could. Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
one thing where you look at the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really tough pill to swallow after you've done all this amazing work to really get. And you're like, oh my God, they're really going to do this
40,
thing.
what was it, 33, the highest we've ever been? Something like that? What was it 30, 40
He was 40.
before the World Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, 39 or 40.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, man, where you're just like, this sucks. But they had they have a one off now against Trinidad. You win, you're
That's
in.
all it
It's
is.
win and you're in. Like nothing else matters other than winning. So
So what
that's
coach
to
do
look
you
forward
think
to in March.
which coach do you think they should look at? What coaches do you
Here's the
think
thing,
they
I
should
don't
look
know
at?
what the
Because there's
budget.
a lot of vacant MLS jobs as well. We can talk about
Yep.
that because Montreal,
Yep.
obviously. Toronto FC just getting John Herdman. So like there's a lot of
Which, by the way,
other places.
also I don't think John's the guy to. I don't think John would help the situation at all. Personally, I personally don't.
I think they need to clear out like
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sorry. You look at that coaching
yeah.
staff on the bench and you're like, what are any of these people offering?
Bro.
But um,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I
Yeah.
saw a report that the Costa Rican national team coach was interested in it.
Hmm.
Um, who's had success. He's coached at a World Cup before, and you're like,
Hmm.
okay, like that's I don't know if there's a language barrier there though,
I
which we had
mean,
had before, but when you're trying to like, like as long as due diligence is done, where you're bringing in the right people to be able to portray and translate the message and get it
mm,
across correctly, and that tone and
bro,
all that stuff works. Like,
soccer is a universal language, bro.
no,
Like,
that is, but like you
yeah.
look at the way Pep and Deserbi and Xavi Alonso. Look at how
Mm,
detailed and tactical everything is now,
mm,
which for
mm.
me, I'm not a massive fan of because I think it takes so much creativity out of the game
I
at
think, I
times.
think, I think, I think. See, I think the difference is because I've been around coaches that like you would think are like tactical geniuses. Like I think Bobby's a tactical genius, but what they try to control they're not trying to control your creativity. My Bobby has always said like, yo, let me control the defensive third and the middle third.
Yeah,
Everything
no,
else after that, yeah.
but what that does is it now makes every other team try and make you as predictable as possible.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So now everything becomes more robotic. Where again, a great like you look at one of the
But
like look at
the three
look at
guys
some
that you
of
just named, think about the three coaches you named, they build out of anything.
they
Even if you
do.
make it predictable, it doesn't really matter because they know
Yeah.
that you're gonna try to make it predictable and they got a counter for the counter.
But it was like look at like there's no more Dimitar Berbatov. That player doesn't
No.
exist. There's no more Adel Tarat. He
No.
was he played for QPR, man.
Yeah,
Could
disgusting.
not QPR could not survive with a luxury player like
Yeah,
that. Every team used
no.
to have one. Every
Yeah.
team used to have one
No,
who
the number tens are
really
done.
it's done. The position
Yeah.
doesn't exist anymore. And it's
There's no
because
Ozils, there's no there's no Santi Carzolas, there's no
no
like yo, they're all gone,
there's no
bro.
there and in saying that there's not really a Xavi or an Iniesta because Pedri and Gabby need to be able to run more. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
God, even at Barcelona, you're like, man, like they're not the same. You know what I mean?
I
And
mean, it's
so
just the athleticism is gone. I don't know if athleticism has obviously the average athleticism has gotten better, but
yeah,
like it's also because athleticism has gotten better, the technique has gotten better because people are running at you so much more faster that like you have to take one touch. Like you can't even
yeah.
think about taking more than one or two touches.
Oh,
Like you have
at
to
the
be.
highest level, I think the technical component of the game is so
That's what I
fucking
mean.
high.
And now people are like matching that with the athleticism. Before, why we used to have luxury players was
Which
because like you were so technical that like and people weren't able to just get to you.
in
There's people
saying
that are
that though,
hella
like
yeah.
the level of tech, like I'm sorry, who in the world has the technique that Zinedine Zidane had? There's not a single footballer in the world currently that is close. Dennis Bergkamp.
But
No
yeah,
one is
100%. But
like you
I'm
look
saying
at
if people were able to get to them faster, like it's a different ball game. Like how soccer was played back then, it was like damn, like people weren't really running out of position. There wasn't really high pressing. Like now
no,
people are just flying at you. You're like,
exactly.
damn, yeah.
Exactly, right? Like it's a different kind of component of how to deal with it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you look at like at the high end, the technique is way down, but
Mm-hmm.
overall, it's way higher. It's way
Way
higher.
higher. Yeah, across the board. Like yeah.
Yeah. But that's kind of what like that's what honestly technology and that does
Everything.
because you're
Yeah.
like, well, if we run faster than them, then we can get to the ball
Mm-hmm.
and all this stuff, but then you lose the artistry aspect. And it's happening in
The
a lot of sports,
creativity.
to be honest with
Yeah,
you. It really is,
100%.
which
It's like
is
NBA.
unfortunate. Oh yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, that's a whole other
Well,
that's a whole other
Tom Brady talked about that too in the
thing.
NFL. He goes, "There's a lot more mediocrity today. Yes, is there more
Mm-hmm.
creativity, like sideways throws for sure, but I'm
People
sorry.
fell. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
people fell in love with one hand catches.
If Patrick Mahomes tried to some of those passes with Ray Lewis on the field, those players would be dead.
Travis
Like
Kelsey would not be playing.
you
He'd
know
be
what I mean?
retired a long time ago.
You look at kind of what the game was and all that. And Tom Brady said he's like, I wouldn't throw the ball to certain areas of the field when I was playing the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't because I can't put my
100%.
or like I didn't want to lose a player because I knew Ray Lewis would absolutely hammer them. Mind you, a lot of the rules for hitting have changed because of Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at like the other thing, like there's less accountability for a lot of things in other sports. With
Yeah.
football, it's kind of like that's the one thing that I'll say. The accountability is still very much there. The problem is
Mm-hmm.
now is that they are losing accountability now where you give a suicide pass and now all of a sudden it's on the defender.
Mm-hmm.
You're sprinting through, the defender nicks the ball away and you hit their studs when his
Mm-hmm.
foot's on the ground. It's a foul against him and a red card. Bullshit. That's a shitty pass.
Yeah.
You know what I
Fair.
mean? Like
Fair.
that's where we actually are losing. Like VAR and slowing it down to this super
Mm-hmm.
slow mo is what's actually killing that side of the
Yeah.
game.
Slow mo makes everything look worse than it actually is.
Play it at
Yeah.
full speed, man. If and
Yeah.
that was the whole thing. Like I get it if your studs are raised. If your foot's
Mm-hmm.
off the ground and you get a nick on the ball, but you connect, that's a little different. If your foot's
Mm-hmm.
on, like you can't go leading with your toe into a tackle. You're gonna break your foot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if you're going
Mm-hmm.
full speed and someone else is going full speed and you lead with your toe, you're gonna break your leg doing that. You
Mm-hmm.
have to go with your studs based on an angle.
Mm-hmm.
But winning the ball and then catching someone's ankle afterwards, that to me is fine. It's not
Mm-hmm.
reckless.
Because you didn't go with the intent to
No,
injure him. You
you
came
went
with
to win the
intent to
ball.
protect yourself.
Yeah, and why is it incumbent on the defender to protect the attacker now?
Mm-hmm.
I'll never understand that
It's
part
because
of it.
the
I
attacker are
honestly
the
won't.
ones that people come to watch play, bro. They don't come to watch us defenders play, dog. I mean, maybe
I
me a
mean,
little bit. A
you
little
say
put a little
that
sauce on it.
you say that though, but nothing gets the crowd more riled up than a big
Then a big
tackle.
tackle.
Like
Yep, you lay
honestly,
someone out.
oh my
But
god,
that's because humans innately don't we like violence.
yeah, oh yeah,
Innately, like, yeah. So
oh
it's
yeah.
like, all right. Wait, we got off topic. What wait, you were talking about coaches, now we were
Anyway,
talking about
coaching.
laying people out.
I do think that. So I've heard that rumor about the Costa Rican coach, which I think could be a good one. Obviously, Bobby's rumored to be taking it.
Mhm,
For me, with the money that they're probably offering, I think Bobby's the best shout. He's worked with a lot of the players before. I think Bobby's got a great system, and again, I think they'll be buying. The only problem with Bobby is his experience. Like
mhm,
you're looking at a golden generation where you do have Fonzie, who's being coached by Thomas Tuchel, and he's been coached by Julian Nagelsmann. You look at the
mhm,
coaches he had, where you look at, okay, John and David, here's our next step. Like, where is it going to be? What big club are you hopefully going to go play at and go do these
mhm,
things? You know what I mean? Like from the outside looking in, from the outside, inside, I think everyone who watches CPL and knows Bobby and has seen him work
mhm,
understands why if he gets the job, it'll be an
mhm.
upgrade. It'll be
Most
an
people that
upgrade.
I talked to that are on the national team, they were saying that like they were thinking that Bobby was gonna get it, and I was like,
Yeah,
damn, yo, actually, yeah,
yeah,
the players also have to want the coach too. So
yeah,
like from the outside looking in, it might look like, oh, like he has no experience, but if the players say like, no, this is the guy that we want, we think that it's kind of like, all right, yo, we're putting our faith in him. You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
The
Oh,
country
for
just gonna have
sure.
to fall back on it.
I'm just saying from the outside looking in, you are hopefully going to Copa America for the first time ever. You are hosting the World Cup and the highest level that your national team, that you're the coach you've played at is
Mhm.
coaching the CPL. You know what
I
I mean?
mean,
Like, wait,
CONCACAF
I'm
Champions League.
for sure, but like
Yeah,
you like when I'm saying from the outside
consistency.
looking
Yeah,
in,
yeah. No, I get it.
that's the only thing you could sit there and go, yeah, it doesn't have that. Like, again, if he had national team experience, if he was currently on this staff and had gone to the World Cup with Herdman,
I don't think Bobby cannot be an assistant
oh,
coach though.
I'm well aware. I'm well aware of that.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you had that experience already,
Mm,
then are you like, yeah, he's worked with players, he's worked with this group before. Like you can almost see the
mm,
progression. Like you look at Gareth Southgate for England. He worked with
mm,
all the players because he took the 18s, he took the 21s, he was assistant coach the first. Like you look at
mm,
progression like that, and you can see why there wasn't like, wait, why are they hiring Gareth Southgate? You know what I mean?
mm,
So that's the only reason I'm saying from the outside looking in, it looks like that. But everyone who's seen Bobby coach and knows what he's about and
mm,
spoken with him, you
mm.
understand the level of intelligence and what he's done. There's
So we
no
need a
doubt
head
of his
coach.
success, but you have to look at where the success has come so far.
Yeah, we need a head coach and we need a general secretary. I think they were saying something
Mhm.
like that.
Well, they need a
Can
fucking
you?
contract with the men and women's team too. Like there's so much shit behind the scenes that they need to sort out right now. It's unbelievable.
Soccer is the least of the problems, bro. Soccer
Like it's honestly
is the least of the
unbelievable.
problems. The women's national team have a camp coming up against 2 games against Australia, right? I guess this
Yeah,
is
it's in BC.
Christine Sinclair's farewell tour.
Yep.
That's what's up. One of the goats going out. She getting to stop at big cities in Canada and play in front of thousands and thousands of fans that
This one will
appreciate
be
her and will always
this one's back
appreciate
home
her.
for her too.
Yeah, so
Back home in
that's gonna
BC, which would be
be
nice.
that's gonna be heartfelt, I guess. Like it's gonna be pretty sad, but happy as well. Um, I don't know if we talked about it. Megan Rapinoe tearing her Achilles in the finals of the
Yeah.
NWSL
Yeah.
championship,
Her last game.
her last game ever as a player. She pulled up. I don't know if you saw her interview after the game.
Yeah, I'm not heartbroken about her
Wild,
tearing her Achilles. Fuck off.
wild, absolutely. I felt bad for my damn. She tore her Achilles because I tore my Achilles. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but now I think about, it, I'm like, yo, this is an injury that people are getting a lot now, and it's not. People are saying, "Oh, it's because turf." This, I'm like, no, we're just getting way too athletic, and our bodies are not keeping up. The thing
Yeah.
is like, yo, we have to be like, I'm not saying like me, maybe even me, like because of like how athletic our bodies are getting and how much like explosive movements and stuff like that is we the strain that we put on our body, we have to train our bodies to continuously take that strain. So the one time that like you stop putting your body through that stress, and then you let's say you have a bad warm up or whatever, and then you do it, like it's I've never really heard of people tearing their Achilles back in the day, bro. Like
Look
I
at
don't
the
know
like
what's it's crazy.
it's wild to think about the amount of like muscle tissue injuries and like Achilles tears and ACLs that we're getting now.
Tendons, all that
When
stuff. Yeah.
before when the game was more physical,
Hmm.
none of that
But
existed.
I think people were talking about more physical based on like the contact.
The contact, but like you look
Yeah.
at the number of injuries, it
Yeah.
is soared.
Crazy.
It's soared. And again, part of it is yeah, because we're stressing our bodies to a point that they're not used to
And
being stressed.
and we're taking days off that like yeah, that we don't really need to take. Like
Well, there that's
I'm
the
all for a fan for load management, but like even when I was at Forge and CPL, bro, I played 40 games in 5 months and I never felt any better. I felt like after the season, I was like, damn, my body's tired. But
yeah.
like during it, I was flying. Cause like Bobby don't give no days off. And I hope you see this. He don't give no damn days off. Like we'll play a game. The next morning we have to come do regen. Like,
Yeah,
like
and that I think is a huge question mark, right? I think like that's where there's been a lot of investment, at least at the highest
yeah.
levels now,
It's like, yo,
with a
do we
lot of
make these
a
guys
lot of
train?
yeah, like or how do you train? I think like that's
Mm-hmm,
kind of where we're getting to, where
mm-hmm,
understanding from a load management perspective, with the number of games they're now being asked to play,
mm-hmm.
how
Yeah,
exactly do you schedule training? How exactly are like what does this like this day you can't really give them a day off, but
yeah,
you're getting in the gym now and you're doing some sort of a regeneration
yeah.
session.
A lift.
You're doing some sort of a lift. You're stressing your body so that your body is feeling that. Because again, like I mean, one
If
of
you're
my
playing
closest,
Saturday, Wednesday, like you're not gonna have time. They don't coach, bro. You don't train. Like
yeah,
you're doing the positional functional stuff, and then like you might do like 5 sprints after practice just so your body's still in that mojo, you know what I mean, to get ready for the
yeah,
game.
no, exactly.
Yeah. So like when you
But
see, especially in NBA, when you see those injuries, it's like it's because the load management, like they're sitting down, like you know what I mean. You're already 6'9" playing on hardwood floor. Like your body's already getting beaten up. So like you do like you taking time off or whatever, like so I seen her interview and she was like, I need to call Aaron Rodgers' doctor. And any fucking doctor that lets Aaron Rodgers play this season is hot. Absolutely. I don't care what he put
it
in his Achilles. I don't care that bro, you could tell like
why the Jets are
he
out. Who like don't play?
bro, but you can tell he's walking gingerly. Like you could tell like it's a whole different ball game. Like even when I was came out my boot, I mean everybody's experience is different, but like I healed in 6 months. So like I healed fast. And I'm saying Aaron Rodgers, if I had $80 million, maybe I even heal even faster. Like
I mean, you probably would because you're gonna have like you
have
you
the
literally
resources and
you've
everything
hired someone to literally watch every step you take.
that you take. But I'm saying at the same time, our sports are different.
Yeah,
You have 400 pounders coming to like, no, it's not the same. Like, you can't just pull back up. Like, what? Like, that is
yeah,
crazy to me. So she said she gonna get Aaron Rodgers' doctor and whatever he did, I think it's like stem cells or whatever. And I mean, you're Megan Rapinoe. Yeah, I'm sure you have your resourceful and you know everybody in America. So I'm sure you can get that shit done. But I didn't like the way she went about it. She's like, it's like, if I ever believe that there is a God, this is proof that there's not. It's like, yo, I understand you're sad, but like, don't bring religion into it. Like,
yeah.
yo,
Fuck
just
off.
be
Like
sad, bro.
you know what's
Just be
funny? It's
sad, bro.
it's so unbelievable. Like how many moments she's had where you've been like, oh, and they've been like, really?
What?
Like
Yeah,
how unlikable. she comes off.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And you're like,
And like
why don't you not act like that? Like, and again, like but you're
maybe
only
she doesn't care about people liking her, but and that's fair. But like at the same time, you can't get mad at how we react to what you say. If you're saying some bullshit, like you saying some bullshit, like that's
yeah,
what it is. Yeah,
1000%.
100%. So I mean, Australia versus Canada, they lost to Australia in the World Cup, obviously because it was at. So it should be a really good game.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Um,
Bit of
call in
Julia
the big
Grosso
guns
got
as
hurt
always
today.
in training
In
or
no,
in
in a
game
game. In a game.
for
So
Juve.
yeah, timeline looks a little bit tight, but if she's able to
Mm,
make it, obviously that's a big boost. If not,
mm,
I mean it's also what Sophie Schmidt's farewell tour too, right?
true. Yeah,
So
that's what's
yeah,
up.
you'd have to expect her to get some significant minutes here over these two games as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Other
no,
World Cup qualifiers.
Brazil are going through a bit of a rough patch. Not only did like they lost for the first
They're in
time
fifth.
in 63 games at home, first World Cup qualifier they've ever lost at home to Argentina. And then their U17s lost to Argentina in the World Cup 3-0.
Oh, what are they feeding these men in Argentina? I think Messi winning the
They're
World
still
Cup, like it
high
gets
off Messi winning the World Cup. That's
yeah,
all it
bro.
is.
Like the inspiration is through the roof right now.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn, the motivation. Like imagine after we host the 2026 World Cup, like the booming, like how kids are gonna come out. Because I remember when I went to Spain with the provincial team and like we played against Villarreal, that stuff. When we and I got to watch I got to watch like David Villa, Messi, Xavi, it's the Barcelona. I came back home, I was like, nah, the motivation, the inspiration that I had in me. So I'm like,
I'm
I can
excited
only
to see
imagine.
what games we're gonna get here. That's what I'm gonna be really interested to see. Like what
Mm,
groups are gonna be basically like at least what I'm assuming is that there's gonna be a group like Vancouver, Seattle would probably be joint cities. They're right
mm,
next to each other.
yeah,
I mean, Toronto, New York are probably gonna be host
joint
cities
cities.
together for a group
Yeah,
stage. You know what I mean? After
yeah,
that, it's then all of a sudden knockouts and it's luck of the draw. But that's
yeah,
what I'm really excited to see, like who's gonna be in these ones because that's gonna be
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah. I want to see. I want to see what teams, what countries play it where.
Obviously,
Because I
Canada will probably be in Toronto.
Toronto,
So
yeah, because of home, yeah. But other than that, man, I mean, yeah. Hopefully, the women's team can avenge themselves. Christine Sinclair, Sophie Schmidt's farewell tour and get shit back. You know what I mean? Um, what else we got in the docket? Oh,
well,
World
the
Cup
biggest
qualifiers for you said Brazil.
yeah,
The biggest thing was they had to stop the game because police officers were beating up Argentine fans. I seen Emi Martinez jump into the crowd and drape up a police officer. I
wild,
was dying. I
wild,
was like, wow, he's a
wild.
legend for that.
Well, it's also like that's the other thing that people here don't really understand. Like
It's life or death out there, bro.
that, but that's what they grew up in. Like they
Mm-hmm,
grew up in poverty,
mm-hmm,
and playing that little game is their only way out.
mm-hmm. This
Like
is
it's
literally life or
wild.
death.
It's wild. But the biggest story for me right now is looking at Brazil. It's like if anyone didn't believe it before, it is an enigma, that national team. That national team, it always has been, but it's an enigma because you look at every other team this guy's played for at the highest level,
Mm-hmm,
he hadn't been the glue.
mm-hmm.
But for the
But for
national team,
Brazil,
he's the most important player on that team. And without him, they are lost. And it's
absolutely.
Neymar.
And people don't
Like,
fear them.
but it's not only that, it's like no one else knows what the fuck they're doing until
It's
like
crazy.
and it's not like he tracks back, it's not like he tries any harder. He's just who he is.
He is.
But like you
But
look at
nah, but for Brazil,
no,
yeah,
I'm saying, but for
he puts
Brazil,
a different sprinkle, bro.
but
Puts
what
a
it
different
does
sprinkle
though,
on it.
but it lets everyone else go, okay, yeah, no, we're like it almost like gives confidence to other
Confidence to
people.
everybody else. Yup.
Like, but it's the same thing though. You go
But that's
back
like
and you're
Messi.
like,
That's like Messi Argentina. Because like, remember when Argentina had all those superstars and they couldn't win, and then you got all the dogs, and you're like,
nah, but
yo,
it's not the same though because you go back. Kaká won the Ballon d'Or.
mm-hmm,
He was nothing. Like the player who kept that team together was Ronaldinho.
yeah,
He
But we
added
knew,
something.
but we knew Ronaldinho was better than, like, you know what I mean. Had those
I
years where you're
no,
like,
I know.
yeah,
But then you take him out of that team, all of a
yeah,
sudden they're not the same
same.
team, and why can't they like
Hmm.
it's always been an enigma where they have a certain
Hmm.
way of playing, and you almost need a linchpin who just holds up the mantle,
Hmm.
and everyone else works off it. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, and they go through
Neymar
different
is the system. I would say Neymar is the system for Brazil.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You look at it, you're like, how do they have Vinicius Jr.? They've got Rodri. They have all these players,
Hmm.
Gabriel Martinelli. They have all these players, and they can't do it without him in that team.
It's wild, bro. It's
It's
absolutely wild.
it's an
And I
enigma.
don't like it because I be going on Twitter and then people be talking smack about Neymar, and I'm like, bro, y'all don't even understand. Like, we don't give this guy his flowers, yo. When he leave, everybody's gonna be sad. Like, yo, we actually, because people are out here trying to compare Gareth Bale and Neymar. I'm like, fam, don't get me upset, bro. Yeah. I was like,
They're two
dog, you
different players. They're two
they're
wildly
two
different
different,
players.
they're two wildly different players, but like, I'm always taking Neymar over Gareth Bale any day of the week. Any day of the week, I'm taking Neymar over Gareth Bale. And the reason is I've seen more from Neymar where it's like there's just that it factor. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean? Like, yeah, but those are like I'm not saying Gareth Bale's not top tier either, but like there's just that sprinkle where you're just like, yo, if I give the ball to this guy, when all hell breaks loose, you're like, dog, just take the ball. Like him, Messi, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho was like that. Brazilian Ronaldo was like, you know what I mean? Like you just like, yo, just lead us to the promised land. That's what it is. And like Gareth Bale, he had his moments, obviously,
you know
with
what's interesting?
Wales, and
The funny thing is, I think both of them were like that for the national team.
yeah.
Neymar was not like that for any club he's played for, though, man. He wasn't. I'm
PSG, he
sorry.
dragged them. PSG, he kind of dragged them to the Champions League final when they lost. He was hooping that year, that COVID year. He was hooping. I
He
can't let that slide. He cooked
no.
Bayern Munich.
No,
He cooked
he was very good in that
that
final. He
Champions League
was.
campaign. I was like, yo, this guy came to play, bro. And Mbappe was like, damn, I'm just gonna run in behind. He's like, yo, I got the
But we're
only thing
looking
is like
at.
injuries also did
But
deteriorate him though.
again
Mm.
though, for him, is that because he's unlucky, or is that because he's not doing the right things off the pitch? You know what I mean? Like we don't know that, but
Yeah,
like
but
that's
For Brazil,
for
hundred
Brazil, he's
percent,
been
like he's the man.
unbelievable, man. He's been
He's the man.
unbelievable for Brazil.
And they don't appreciate it because he hasn't won a World Cup. I'm like, bro, Messi just won a World Cup. Like if Messi never won a World Cup, you Argentinians are just gonna be like, yo, fuck this guy. Like, come on, bro. Like, I understand the fanatics and like the history of the countries, and which is why like them losing to Argentina in this World Cup qualifier is so big because they lost Argentina in the Copa America final in the Maracanã, but because of the record, it makes it a lot like they were like, yo, we could lose to Argentina in a Copa America final. We could lose to them
Well,
any
them
day, but
losing
like
the Copa America final though too, there was no one in the stands because it was during COVID.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So now like you losing and Neymar, bro, they gonna miss him when he's gone. That's all I'm
Oh yeah,
saying, yo.
oh
Like they
yeah,
gonna be like, because
oh yeah.
look how they're reacting now. And Vinicius and those guys, like they're still young. The one thing that people don't give Neymar credit for is his finishing ability. Like Vinicius and those guys can dribble all this, but like the end product is not there.
No,
That's the
it's not the
difference. Like
level.
the
It's
end
not the
product
level
is
that
not at the
Neymar's
level that
was. Neymar's was so good,
Neymar's was
man.
at that age. You know what I mean? So like even when Neymar was their age, like his end product for Brazil was unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
So like
No,
look at him,
he's got the most goals in the Brazilian national
goals
team
for Brazil.
history.
Yeah, like
Like
yeah,
he's unbelievable for the national team, man. He's
that's what I mean. So
unbelievable.
they gonna miss him when he's gone, and you can see right now that they're struggling, and it's sad because now they're in fifth. They're in fifth, and this is another thing that I was saying, and Jose Mourinho said it too. He's like, "Yo, the South American qualifiers is a fucking dogfight,
Different, man. Like that was the funniest thing.
absolute
We talk
dogfight."
about how hard it is to qualify at a CONCACAF. You're like, how about you look right down south, man? Like, are you kidding me? Are you
Bro,
kidding?
dog fucking fight, bro. It's a dog fight. You got Colombia, Uruguay, you
Ecuador.
got Ecuador. Argentina, Brazil,
Chile,
Chile, bro. And not all of them can make it.
Uruguay,
Yeah, not all of them can make it. And then you got to go play in Bolivia in the mountains. Like, yeah,
Peru
bro,
are decent too.
Peru.
Peru just
That's what I
made what
mean.
the World Cup in 2018.
2018. That's what I mean. Not everyone can make it. So imagine how many big teams are missing out because South American qualifications are so hard. And then you got England tying to Northern Macedonia. Get the fuck out of here.
They already qualified. Who cares?
I know, but still, if they lost that game, I would have been crying. More Northern Macedonia would have shot up the FIFA rankings though.
Hmm. Yeah, no. The
Bro,
The European qualifiers again. They do have the most.
yeah. Ronaldo scored his 17th goal against like Liechtenstein or some shit like that. Lithuania.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they have so many. They have like again they do have the most countries in that
Countries, yeah.
region, so that's gonna obviously water it down.
Hmm.
But
I
I
feel
mean,
like
something's got to be done. It's
I
so
feel like yeah,
bad.
I feel like obviously in Europe, like away games matter, but like the geographical challenges of South America in itself is just a lot tougher than Europe. Like you're playing in the mountains, you're playing in 2,000 feet above sea level in Ecuador, like you're going to Chile in the mountains, like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like there's so much, not just the football part, not just the being away crowd or anything, like the geographical part about it too. Whereas Europe, like, okay, I'm going to France. Okay, I'm going to Spain. Okay, I'm going to Hungary. I'm not saying like the fans are not are wild and stuff like that, but like you're gonna play on a nice grass pitch. You're probably playing at regular elevation. Like the weather might be a little colder, a little warmer. Like there's not really any geographical like setbacks. Whereas like CONCACAF and I'm not saying CONCACAF's harder than Europe, but like whereas like South America, Jose Mourinho said he's like South America's harder, bro. And I put it on our story. I was like, yo, what do you
yeah.
guys think?
No, you're
100%. So we'll see. What else do we got on the docket? Oh, Erling Haaland didn't and Odegaard didn't qualify again. It's crazy. I didn't know Norway wasn't good. Like,
yeah, man. Like you have a couple players, but
mhm,
it's bad. It's hard. It is hard. Like I think when everyone saw
mhm,
like Iceland qualify for the Euros and the World
mhm.
Cup, they were like, "What?"
What?
It was an enigma. Like it
Yeah.
was this
I was like,
weird
how many
thing where,
people Iceland got?
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but it's just like it's not easy to qualify,
Mhm.
especially for a country like Norway. You literally cannot drop points. You can't,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's a tough one. Obviously, with the World Cup expanding for 2026, they have a better chance
Mhm.
then. But I
I
mean,
hope so.
there's a legitimate and real possibility we never
Yeah.
see
See
Holland
Haaland
in a major in a
in a
major
major competition.
tournament. Like
That's crazy, bro. That's actually wild to say if you really
well,
think about it.
it is, but you also look at like right now, it's really common to see Denmark.
Yeah.
Denmark won the Euros back
Yeah, in
in
2000?
92. No, like
92,
92.
92.
Schmeichel,
2000,
Michael Brian Laudrup,
France
like
one.
they
Yeah.
didn't qualify again for a long time. Belgium, same thing. Like
Yeah.
we look at it now as being like, it's
Wow.
weird to think Belgium couldn't qualify. Like they went through a
Yeah.
long stretch where they did not
Yeah.
qualify for major tournaments.
And then they got through their golden generation now.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it takes more than one or two players. Like you do need
Mhm.
more than that. So
Yeah, that's fair. Um, but yeah, I don't think we should hold that against them. Sometimes, like, you don't control what country you're born in, bro.
yeah.
Just like how Messi and Ronaldo weren't being controlled. Like I was born in Argentina, and I just
Well,
happened to play like Maradona. Now I
Messi
have to.
had the
Now I have.
opportunity to play for Spain and he said no.
No, but like, imagine if Messi played for Spain, bro. That time, like, come on, bro. Come on. I think they would have won like three World Cups. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
It would have been ridiculous.
Bro, they would have got that 2010 for sure. Like, that 2010, that's when Spain was in it. They would have got that 2010, that 2014 when Argentina went to the final. They would have got that too. Like they would
Yeah,
have went.
like it's
They literally would have went 2008 Euro, 2010 World Cup,
you
2012
know what the
Euro,
interesting thing is though? Like,
2014 World Cup.
you know what though? Like who I'm trying to think like it would have changed that Spain team massively though.
Someone David Silva probably wouldn't. Pedro probably would have never got called up. You know what I mean? Like certain players would have never got called up. The
2008,
dynamic,
2008 though would have been David Silva. he would have
David
been the
Silva.
lone man, or David
Yeah.
Villa, because Fernando Torres was playing up top in 2008.
Fernando Torres
A
playing up
thousand
top, but
percent.
Villa was also cooking for Valencia. He
Oh,
got
he
top
was
goal scorer
so
for
good,
Valencia.
but
Yeah.
he
So
was
like,
so good.
I think it would have been probably like David Silva, like a Juan Mata, and them man's like those young mans, the young like coming in, like they would have never got
But
called
you have
up.
to
But I'm
drop
saying
guys out of the lineup. Like
that's what I mean. But like
it.
even if we
Thank God. Can
discount
we just say thank God?
yeah,
Like thank
that's what I
God
mean.
he didn't.
Like even if you discount like the 2008, like if he's like, I'm changing to Spain and he played 2010, they already went three major tournaments in a row. You throw
Yeah,
Messi in that bitch?
2012. Oh my God.
Yo, dog. They won with Fabregas playing 9 the Euro. They had a 4-6. They played Iniesta left wing, David Silva right wing, and Fabregas as false 9. I can't believe they got away with that shit. That's
What
crazy.
are you talking about? Their midfield three was Xavi Alonso, Busquets, and Xavi. Of
And
course
then
they got away with
Iniesta,
it. And then they had
bro.
Iniesta.
But you had no
And
strikers.
David Villa was hurt. David Villa got hurt for that
Yeah.
one. He couldn't even
And Torres
play.
was in a super slump.
Yeah.
Bro,
Wild.
they got and then
Absolutely
you had Messi. You
wild.
had Messi to that? Come on, bro.
Wild.
But I'm saying like you can't really control the country you're born in. Like I hope they don't hold it against him because like it's not like he's not trying to bring like Lewandowski. No one holds the Poland shit. It's like damn, it just sucks that you play for Poland, bro. It's like
Yeah.
we wish you played for like Ibra, Sweden. Like Sweden did all right, but like
Yeah. But again though, like you look at
you give them credit for making them relevant, like
but
super
you
super
also look at
relevant.
the goal. You look at the goal in Euro 2004, the back heel against
Mm-hmm.
Italy, the bike
The
against
bike against
England.
England.
Like
Yeah,
you look at and even that you look at the game where them in Portugal was the winner goes to the World Cup and Ronaldo
yeah,
scores three, he scores two. Like
yeah,
wait, I think what you're waiting for is for him to have those moments now.
yeah, yeah. Like literally, like show that like you're putting your team on your back and you just fall short a little bit because it's just the country you're from. You know what I
But like
mean? Like
what else are you supposed to do? Like
yeah,
what else can
there's
you
only
do?
so much you can
You
do.
scored
Yeah,
a hat trick and you lost 4-3.
yeah.
You know,
That's what I
like
mean.
I think
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I
Like
think that's what we have to credit him on.
if he led, because I don't know how many goals he scored in qualifying, but if he led it qualifying and they still didn't qualify, you'd be like, fuck,
Yeah, yeah.
what are you gonna do? You know, I think that's really what
Mhm.
the only real expectation or hope is for him. It's
When is
just
the Euro?
summer, this summer.
So Copa America and the Euro at the same time.
Yep,
Who you think? Who
2024.
you got going for the Euro?
I mean, trying to be as objective as possible. I think realistically, the two that I think are gonna be there at the end, as long as they don't get drawn on the same side, are France and England.
Yeah, and they always get drawn on the same side. So someone fucks up somewhere and they end up getting drawn on the same side.
Spain, you never know. Italy,
Yeah,
Italy in a major
yeah.
tournament,
You
man.
never know. Yeah,
But you can't discount the Spanish. Portugal are kind of halfway in
yeah,
between, moving on from their old generation to the new one.
yeah.
But
But
Belgium
it's up
are
in.
kind of at the end.
I feel like it's up in the air. Like Croatia's done. Like their generation's done. It's, I feel like the Euro's really up in the air, and hopefully England can get this, bro. But
Pray to
them dudes
God.
need something.
Yeah,
They
I
need
know.
something. Yeah. So I think we covered everything. Arsenal still in first place. Man, you what 6 now?
They are, yes, up to 6. They're like a point or two behind Tottenham now.
Oh, never mind.
They're 6
Man
off the
U's
top. They're in 6th. They're
they're
2
in
points
6th.
behind Tottenham. They're only 6 points off Arsenal right now.
Man U 24 points. Yeah.
They're
I mean
only
it's
they're
tight.
only
Oh, I'm saying it's
it's
tight,
tight.
yo.
It's tight. Yeah.
So
There's
everything
this
getting that
year
4 point that 10, it's crazy, bro.
wild. Yeah, no, it was a good result today, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Damn. All right. Well, yeah, that should be all. Unless we got something else coming up. I'm definitely gonna talk to the people at One Soccer to have some like collaboration. That'll be dope. But honestly, like you said, just about educating the fans. I think that's the most important thing. Because once people understand what's going on in the game, then they'll be able to view it Like you can
Changes
still
your
have your
perspective.
opinions. Yeah, you
Yeah.
change your perspective. That's it. That's it. Instead of just being a delusional fan. You don't be delusional. You don't do delulu out here. That's it. All right. Well, obviously, always good talking to you. Episode 28. We going what next week again if you want?
Yes, sir.
29. And I'm gonna talk to it's crazy. I'll tell you off air, but thank you guys again. I've been Kwame Awua. It's my co-host, Adam Jones, and we are signing off.